Hello, Twin Force Fusion. And for some of you, this will be deja vu. Usually the next day or a few days after a dyno session, I always blow up the dyno sheet that was provided to me. And so that way I could, go through the numbers, go on the curve and explain exactly what's happening. There's a few interesting things. Now, this is focused more on the torque and on the horsepower here. And this is the original sheet, which has torque, engine horse, wheel horsepower. So a few things here. As you could see on the bottom before 3000 RPM, there's a loss of torque. And the same thing with the horsepower, there's a loss of horsepower. And there's two main reasons explains that. The technician told maybe he was less aggressive on the when he applied a wide open throttle versus the last time versus this time. This is what, by the way, the OEM turbos, and this obviously is with the MKZ turbos. And another thing here in Canada, when during winter season, the manufacturers, fuel suppliers, whatever, they add it's called a winter blend in it. Even if it's, let's say, 94 octane, they add a butane in the fuel to make the cold starts easier. Because even if we're the 24 April, we still get freezing nights. And so it is what it is. So, we're hoping for global warming here. Maybe some of you know, but here we actually dreaming of that. So they still using the winter blends, which they had butane in their fuel. And just to give you an example, my local track opens this weekend, but they're forecasting some snow. So I'm not going to go. I don't want to pay and then maybe do one or two passes and they're just going to close the track. And then when it's that cold, they don't apply any sticky compound at the track. So go back on the dyno. There's a few things. Last time I went to the dyno, by the way, all these were at Livernois Motorsports Stage 3, but I did something different the last time I went to the dyno. I went Stage 3 Plus, which is a provision that Livernois that I have in my program, which I'm able to increase the RPM. And the last time I increased the RPM by 300 RPM. So as you could see here, it went up to 300 more RPM versus yesterday's. But if you look at 6,000 RPM from the stock turbos to the MKZ, you're looking at plus 70 horsepower. And obviously I said 53 more horse, but that was peak versus peak. Was the peak on my last one was at at 6240 RPM, and this time was at 6,000 RPM. So quickly the numbers, as you can see, my peak wheel horsepower was at 344.6, and my drag power loss was 147.4. So when they convert everything, it goes to 492 horsepower. Don't forget, this thing calculates at rotational mass. This is the front axle. This is the rear. Calculates everything from the engine piston, crank, flywheel, converter, transmission, all your drive line, brakes, wheels, tire. Calculates all the weight. And on the Fusion, it's pretty severe. It's pretty severe compared to other cars. I don't know what else to say, but if you look, again, my power journey, some of you know this, This was fully stock with 90. This is all, by the way, 94 octane fuel. I had my peak wheel horsepower is 256.9, which the engine was 322.5, which is a little bit bum. I was hoping more because they say 325 on 93. And same thing with torque. It was 367.8, instead of 380. So, but again, this dyno will calculate about 2% less because it's a Mustang type dyno. So when you see the wheel horsepower, it's a Mustang type dyno and not a dyno jet. So if we carry on with just the tune, I went with 302 wheel, which was like 371. I'm not going to go all the numbers because you guys know, but I'm going to go with the last one, which was yesterday. So last time I was at 329.1 and yesterday I was 344.6. This is the RPM I got it. So when they convert, the Yamaha dyno converts wheel to horsepower, because this was down lower, you could see it was higher here. So the higher you go on RPM, the more drag wheel power loss you get. So again, so max wheel HP was 87.7, so it's not bad compared to stock. Peak gain, horsepower, and max torque here. I'll explain why I have little brackets here with different numbers. But from the numbers I posted on the dyno, had 464 torque with 492 horse, and that's the gain. And the reason that you see 468.3 is I did just before that pass, a few minutes before, maybe less, well, a minute, maybe less than 2 minutes for sure, I did a pull and it was like 487 point something horsepower and 468.3 torque. So basically the same as I had before the MKZ turbos. But when we did the second pass right away, it went for the horsepower. Actually was surprised, went a little higher, and the torque just a little lower. And I'm just taking my time with this video, guys, because I didn't really prepare, but I just want to show you what I have here. And I'm convinced, by the way, next time I go on the dyno, that I will have more power everywhere. Fuel, number one, and second, the muffler. I think we're at the limit of the stock muffler, and I know some of you get mad because I still have the factory airbox and the factory catback. And for those who don't know, my mods are the Livernoise Motorsport tune. You guys may have different results, maybe better results with your Unleashed tune with the MKZs. Please dyno and document everything if you do. I have the Garrett front mount intercooler. I have the Ultimate Performance 3 inches catted pipe. Again, this is very important. I have catted pipes, so you guys may have more power without the catted pipes. And for those who maybe noticed, my car was a lot quieter on the dyno yesterday. The reason is I don't have the Stida blowout valve anymore. I have a Go Fast Bit diverter blowout valve now, so you don't hear it, relief pressure. So this is what I have. I hope to be back on the dyno maybe in 3 weeks with maybe I receive 1 box out of 2 of the Eco Parts intake chart pipes. And anyway, so man, big guy from Eco Parts helped me out find the other one. So I fixed what I needed to fix earlier. So I'm gonna have that box maybe tomorrow from UPS. So once I get that, I'll find an appointment again because it's time consuming to do the pipes. And since I'm there, I'm gonna do just the muffler delete and put the MRT pipes. I'm not gonna touch the resonator yet. So I know there's a lot more power there because it's a choke. The resonator is a choker right now. So Take care, and hopefully I will get better news and we'll crack the 500 horsepower next time on the dyno. Cheers, bye.